So tonight we're going to be dealing with this term, free thinker. We're going to deal with it as it pertains to it being a justification, apparently, for motherfuckers to be anti-black. For black people to coon with pride that call themselves free thinker. We're going to dig into what a free thinker is supposed to be, how it has been defined. We're going to deal with more Kanye rhetoric. We're going to also deal with Lauryn Hill's daughter. I want to say her name is Selah. We're going to be dealing with her here in a second. I know this is random. I didn't even know whether I was going to come on here tonight or not, but here I am. All right. And what we're going to do is we're going to play a little music, give people time to get in here. Y'all know the motherfucking like button, subscribe, all that cool hot shit, right? I'm going to get people time to trickle in, and we're going to get it in because at this point, the people who got sense enough, the people who have a microcosm of pride is staring in Malcolm. Y'all gonna get people time to get in here, and then we're gonna jump right into this shit.
Everything don't need to be addressed. The pull-ups like a FedEx truck. I can send some niggas around there right now. 1-800 call my bluff. Wake your ass up where you rest. On time like an Amazon truck. I can send some niggas around there right now. 1-800 call my bluff. Buffalo shrimp from Mahimas. Coke there's a fizz at the Ramadan. The ocean from hotels was popular. And crack was a minted phenomenon. Elected presidential was on my arm. Red stripe Pradas and on. Driving a fiend car, dangerous, extremely armed. Shout to the branches, Antoine and Sean. Some niggas play different, involve your mom. Sister, aunt, niece, don't take them all. We only in the sport to be LeBron's. When you use the platinum, that gold be bronze. Your favorite rappers dressing like Comic-Con. These necklaces is different from charm to charm. Bury drug money from lawn to lawn. We learn from the wizards and paparons. Everything don't need to be addressed. The pull-ups like a FedEx truck. I can send some niggas around there right now. 1-800 call my bluff. Wake your ass up where you rest. On time like an Amazon truck. I can send some niggas around there right now. 1-800 call my bluff. Calling my bluff, gon' answer hello. Service with a smile when I hand out halos. Shot clock shooters when I point them, they go. Now everybody asking what happened. They know. Rather watch the sunset and Turks and Caicos. Eating kung fritters with chips and quesos. Don't make me call my TTGs with Dracos. Who all got amnesia until the case closed. Sometimes I wish my fan base was more like J. Cole's. But dope boys gotta be the man like they know. How many more car faxes must get exposed? Imaginary shipments, fictitious payloads. You should listen to them on the platforms they on. The villains, the killings, no ceilings, I yawn. Niggas acting like we can't pop up. Hey, yawn. We specialize in not getting locked up. Hey, gone. I don't feel like they get that. Everything don't need to be addressed. The pull-ups like a FedEx truck. I can send some niggas around there right now. 1-800 call my bluff. Wake your ass up where you rest. On time like an Amazon truck. I can send some niggas around there right now. 1-800 call my bluff.
Listen, I'm going to play one more. Or not even really a whole one. I'm going to play a little bit more, give people time to trickle in because I know it was random. I resent this comment. Rob, you trash for being on time. How dare you? I'm trash with announcing times. Come at me right. I don't even announce it. I just show up. Like, can't say I'm trash for being on time and ain't announce it. That's bullshit.
I was dreaming of a place. It's levels, it's layers, so pray for the players. We hollowed the walls and back up bodegas. I got plenty. It's so many, yeah. They say gimme. He got plenty, yeah. Bruh, you niggas ain't flexing, you cramping. My weight keeping niggas on the bikes like ambulance. Weight loss, red loss, scrambling. Now pass the champagne to the champion. My niggas get money, get money, get money. Like Ye sampling. Gun stutter, make the drum line like Grambling. MGM gambling, through a small mansion. Annoyed cause this bitch calling Lon Von Lanvin. Fuck who you stamping, them niggas just standing. It's not me, they censor and block me. You hollering top 5, I only see top me. Award shows, the only way you bitches can rob me. It's levels, it's layers, so pray for the players. Clip 'em, baby, if you flinch at the price of Bottega. I got plenty, it's so many, yeah. They say give me, he got plenty, yeah. Bruh, you niggas ain't drip, you trying. Kevlar, this Balenciaga jacket lining. You and your bitch income combining. I'm sitting Lorraine Schwartz diamond mining. Final. I came up with Enzo drifters, so you got to understand there's a difference. There's window stickers and window lifters. Okay. You know the type. Always trying to get in your picture.
Okay. Okay. So tonight we're going to be talking about this term free thinker. What people are doing with it, how we've actually seen this before. We'll be getting into that. You know, people that's going to be watching the playback, mad love to you. Still hit that like button. That's still a responsibility I'm passing on to you. Okay, I'm giving you the task of hitting the like button for me. But we are going to deal with this term free thinker. We're going to be dealing with Lauryn Hill's daughter and her also wearing the White Lives Matter. The statement she made since she's done that. Another statement that Kanye made since this is all went down. We're going to be dealing with this, and I'm going to break this free thinker shit down. Hopefully y'all in a good mood tonight. Hopefully everybody is vibing well tonight. But we're going to get right into it, all right? First and foremost, shout out to Team Rob. Y'all already know what the fuck it is. Black first, second, and third. And to be clear, that's not a lineage. That's not lineage based. It's a choice, all right? Being B123 is a choice. I want to be very, very clear on that. That's a decision that you've made to stop cooning, okay? Now, what I'm going to do here is we're going to first deal with the first wave of the so-called free thinking Black people. Now, this has been something that if you have any interest in history, studying the history, understanding the different, phases that Black people have been through, you know that this is an idea set that justified the coon. Okay, this has always been a justification of coon behavior, anti-Black behavior, treasonous behavior, being loving your oppressor. It's always been that. It's been like that. Okay, that's not new. You remember some years back, you had, I want to say it was Pharrell, was the person I remember doing this, where he was talking about being new Black. He was new. Okay, so we've seen this terminology be flipped through, and all it is somebody justifying their anti-Blackness, or in particularly when you're dealing with the bourgeoisie coons out here, they'll use their status, they'll use their money to justify their coon shit and call it free thinking. Now, we've been seeing this term float around. If you were here for me breaking down the Candace Owens, if you looking at some of her statements, she's saying that Black people need to break away from this train of thought that we have. We've been programmed to think this way, not based on our observation, not based on experience, not based on historical context. It is just a matter of an opinion. You're being shifted to look at racism. You're being controlled this way. Not the fact that it actually exists, not the fact that, and in particular systemically, not the fact that these systems are in place. That's not what's real. You just being told to look at it that way. And she downplays racism, white supremacy, white terrorism, white domestic terrorism in particular. She downplays that, even though they even came out and their own FBI spoke to how domestic cave terrorism is the #1 terroristic threat in the nation. Okay, that was that. Again, these be stats and stuff that don't nobody want to read off. All right. Everybody skips over these stats and these findings, if you will. Some of us, we can't call them findings because we already knew. Just like when they came out and told us that the KKK, these racist organizations, have infiltrated the police force, as opposed to just saying that, well, this was the creation of the actual so-called police force, the slave catchers. This is what their creation was to begin with. They didn't infiltrate. That's what they were spawned from this. So they didn't infiltrate anything. But nonetheless, these things are ignored. So let me show y'all. Let me share the screen and show y'all. We're gonna get into this clip here in a minute. This is early though. We're not ready for this yet. We're not ready for what Diddy had to say about Kanye wearing the shirt. We're gonna go straight down to Selah. If I'm saying that properly, this is the daughter of Lauryn Hill. If you're looking at the thumbnail, that is a picture of her. I'll show you that picture here as well, wearing a white Lives Matter. There's also another picture of her. Let me show you the two pictures I did that I was able to find here. This is her with her middle finger up, smiling. They could have did something to this baby's edges. I don't know what the story is on brush would have been appropriate here, but this is her with Kanye, both rocking the white Lives Matter tee. Now, I'm going to read the statement that she made in defense of this, okay? Says, the past 24 hours has allowed me to realize that most of y'all are stuck in a hive mind mentality. You do what the group tells you to do and think what the group tells you to think. Witnessing someone break free from the agenda, she puts in quotes, sends you all into such a panic that you will do whatever it takes to force them back into the box that you feel they should exist in. All morale and empathy is eliminated due to the fact that you feel justified by your emotions. The victim becomes the victimizer. You cannot bully me, manipulate me, or coax me into silence, nor will you bully me into being who you want me to be. I don't care how many tweets you make, DMs you send, or articles you write throughout all of the chaos. I've yet to speak on my experience. If you know me, you know that nothing I do is without deep thought and intentions. Wait till you hear what I have to say. No. A resounding no from B123. I don't give a fuck what you have to say, young lady. You are a coon. Okay, an anti-black coon, and apparently you've been programmed yourself to believe that you're going that we that speak on the fact that black people are treated a certain way due to our skin color here in this country, and it has been centuries long of being treated this way. For you to so-called step outside this box and deny it or justify you being on some coon shit like wearing a White Lives Matter t-shirt, that's the agenda. For black people to forget, for black people to forgive, for black people to move on. That's the agenda. Do you think they wiping slavery out of textbooks because you free niggas is moving past it? Do you think that's what that's about? Do you believe that? Do people believe that? Do you think that's why we're removing it out of the textbooks? Why they got such an issue with CRT? Let me show you how this. Because we're gonna come back and deal with that. But let me show you how this real quick. Let's go deal with Kanye real quick. And I'm gonna show y'all something. I'm not gonna read his entire comment. I guess I have to give context here. Says, I wonder what Gigi and Venus's perspectives were when I didn't know where my child was on her birthday. Kanye been crying about his little half-cave kids who magically become black whenever he decides he has a problem. They magically become black in those moments. But I'll continue. Gabby told me that she disagreed with that. and I'm, I don't know necessarily who Gabby is in this particular instance, but and that's putting me in that's putting it in a nice way. She said it was on her group chats. So why did everyone feel so free to attack me about my shirt? But Candace Owens was the only public figure to say that it was wrong for the Kardashians to keep me from seeing my daughter. So he's showing you why he has his little coon allegiance formed with Candace Owens. Sir, it was not for us to say anything about what you were going through with your daughters. It was for those stupid ass lawyers that couldn't read your contracts with Gap and Adidas. It was for them to deal with what you were going through in family court. It wasn't up for public opinion. What we thought didn't matter. You're a billionaire. You got power, right? Again, I want y'all to notice how we're seeing that this, again, they keep talking this billionaire talk, get this money, secure all these bags, that's going to free you. But here's Kanye talking and crying that everybody wasn't on his side when it came to his daughters. That's up to your lawyers. You dumbass nigga. That's your lawyer's job. The lawyers that you should have on retainer. That's their job to deal with that. The issues that you're having with custody and whatever parental agreements or disagreements that you and Kim Kardashian would have. Okay? Y'all be telling black women that if you just go lay in the caves, you ain't got to deal with shit like this. Only black women do things with your kids, have you up in court and all this type of old shit. Well, that's a lie. Okay? We the people over here at B123, that's a lie. Okay? That's our statement. This is a whole lie. All right? Thinking you got Haven in the caves. Well, here you go dealing with this cave bitch with a, pretty substantial wealth amount with you. Well, now y'all got to bang. Now you got to bang about it in the courts. It ain't got nothing to do with us. It ain't got nothing to do with blogs. It has nothing to do with social media. You take it up with the courts. I'll continue. Says, or we just going to chime in when we want to tear a black man down for actually having a different political opinion. Now this is just to assassinate a black man's character. Sir, you haven't needed our help with that. That's been something that you've done all on your own. That's been you. You knew how people were going to respond to that. Candace Owens knew how people were going to respond to that. So to now act like somebody just tearing you down because they're calling you the coon that we've been calling you, it's not a new situation. Now you are a black man that's being torn down for having a different political opinion. You want a seat at the cave's table. That's not free thought. That's not a new thought. That's not different. You're an average, regular coon. The idea that we even dealt with that when we dealt with what we was dealing with Candace Owens last night. The idea that y'all believe y'all doing some different shit. This is basic. Stop self-aggrandizing. That ain't what this is. Says, and for all audience so outraged about my t-shirt, where was you when I couldn't see my kids? I went public in hope of public support at that time. So this is him doing something that coons have a tendency to do. Y'all didn't support me. Y'all made fun of me. Y'all laughed at me. So now I'm cooning in rebellion against black folk. I'm cooning in rebellion against black people because y'all didn't support me like I wanted y'all to. Now, the only person he said supported him, if I'm not mistaken, let me look here, let me read it again. But Candace Owens was the only public figure to say that it was wrong for the Kardashians to keep me from seeing my daughter. That means that the only person that spoke up for you was a black woman, even though, we'll put that in quotes. Biologically, a black woman. The caves didn't come out and speak for you, but you didn't have any, you don't have anything to say. You didn't do anything to call yourself thumbing your nose at the caves. Interesting. Is it not? We talked about that with Candace Owens last night. Let me show y'all what a free thinker by definition is. Let's go here. Let's read it together. Let's read this together. It says here, a free thinker is a person who rejects accepted opinions, especially those concerning religious belief. I'll read that again. A free thinker is a person who rejects accepted opinions, especially those concerning religious belief. We'll go a step further. A person who thinks freely or independently, one who forms opinions on the basis of reason independently of authority, especially one who rejects or is skeptical of religious dogma. Notice how in both definitions, the person who is the free thinker is a person that's typically standing against religious dogma, the Bible, Christianity, that God that Kanye be, praying to and all this old shit. You couldn't pray to him to get the rights to see his kids or no shit like that. Couldn't pray to him to sign a better contract. None of them. Him praying on doing all this gospel singing has not helped him. Hadn't helped him stay on his medications that he apparently needs for his bipolar disorder. None of that helped him. He's 10 toes down, at least appearing to be, in religious dogma. Also, Candace Owens as well. She talks about Christian values. A free thinker would be one who rejects or is skeptical of religious dogma. They highlight that in all definitions you're going to find about a free thinker. So what they're doing is using this free thinker mantra, using this term to justify their anti-blackness. Y'all just want me to be in a box. Y'all want me to think like y'all. No, what you're doing is being an average regular coon. You're doing what most black people do. That's all you're doing. It's not special. It's not great. Let me show y'all this. And I'll take it a step further. Let me show y'all this little clip. This little clip about this little clip that Puff did about Kanye wearing a White Lives Matter shirt. Free thinker. That's what you're doing. So here comes Puff calling Kanye a free thinker, and you'll see a lot of people that will speak to Kanye's ability to have these free thoughts. But if you read it, I just read his statement. What he said was, well, y'all didn't support me. So is he calling himself rebelling against black people because black people didn't speak out for him and his conveniently sometimes black kids? Is that what it is? Billionaire Kanye can't get lawyers to fight his battles for him and go carve out these legal rights. Can't get him to read contracts. Can't get his cave lawyers, I'm sure they're caves, to do anything right. But he gonna take all this shit out on black folk. It's not black people's fault. And what you'll find in when you're dealing with and breaking down the mentality of a cave, or not of a cave, but of a coon, they'll speak on how black people either made fun of them, laughed at them, their negative experiences with black people, and they'll use that to justify, well, here's how I got here. You'll hear that pain and suffering or disappointment in them. They laughed at me. laughed at my skin, laughed at my hair, made fun of me, bullied me in school, things like that. And this will be the birth of the coon. That's what they'll use to justify it. I was let down by black folk, so now I must coon. It's what they do. That's not new. That's not original. That's not unique. Using this term of free thinker is not unique. Black people been doing that, been acting like them cooning is some type of, revolutionary act against the programmed and socially engineered idea that the caves are out here practicing systemic or actually enacting systemic racism against black people. That's just, y'all just want me to think like that. Those are not an opinion, because a free thinker is supposed to be somebody who stands against the opinions. These are not opinions. These are facts. Puff just came on here and said Black Lives Matter was a slogan that was ours. It's bigger than that. It's deeper than that. Before Black Lives Matter ever existed, you had black people who had the pride and sense enough to know to where their message was Black Lives Matter. It wasn't said in that way. It wasn't hashtag BLM, wasn't hashtag Black Lives Matter, wasn't an organization built like that. But you had people out here speaking in that tone. Been doing it before I was born. This ain't got shit to do with a slogan. Puff got on here and justified the behavior. Well, this don't mean you need to cancel him and all this old shit. He's not going to be canceled. He's not going to be canceled. There's enough black people that are his fans. He's not going to be canceled. There's enough caves that love what he's doing. He's not going to be canceled. And then they got this young black girl, Lauryn Hill's daughter, coming out here, and now she's using the same type of rhetoric. Oh, y'all want me to stay in a box. Cooning is the box. Putting the caves up on a pedestal is the box. Exonerating them from their racist practices, and particularly systematically. Because I don't want people thinking that I'm coming on here, and it's just every white person to say nigger. Like that ain't Confederate flag. Like that ain't what we talking about over here. We're dealing with systems that are in place. So systemically, you exonerating these people from not dismantling these systems. They're telling you to get over it. That's what black folk been doing. We need to pull ourselves up by our bootstraps. Does this sound familiar? We don't work hard enough. Does this not sound familiar? Black folk been saying that. It didn't matter how many pro-black movements, black power movements, there was always most black people saying, man, black folk just lazy. Need to work a little bit harder. It's the black man and black woman's fault for what's going on out here. Y'all hear these arguments today. This ain't new. You a regular, average, ordinary coon. You're not a free thinker. That ain't what the fuck going on, because that's when you go against some opinions. Systemic racism is not a matter of opinion. It's not an imaginary thing that only black people just trying to bring up in conversation. It's something that we're experiencing, something our ancestors experienced. And it hasn't been rectified. It's still being practiced. Motherfuckers act like racism was obliterated systemically 200 years ago, and we still talking about it. That's what coons do. That's not original. That's not free thought or anything like that. Black people, generally speaking, gonna pray to whatever God they believe in and wait on him to come save them. That's not new. These people who believe in this religious dogma, which is if you're a free thinker, then you didn't question the Bible completely. You question Christianity. You question Islam. You question all these religions. You've asked questions. You understand who wrote these books. What are they for? What are they doing? That's a free thinker, because you stand up in the face of religious dogma. You wake up from that indoctrination. That's not new, Kanye. That's not new, Selah. That's not new, Kundis. I don't have a cool name for Selah. She kind of took that away from me with her name. And maybe it was done on purpose so I couldn't come on later and use her own name and call her a coon. Selah is tough. I don't know. I think maybe Selah Marley, maybe. I think maybe that's what she is. But understand, when you find Black people out here who call themselves free thinkers, but are still on their knees praying to God, they're not free thinkers per the definition of what a free thinker really does. They're not free thinkers. They're coon thinkers. Because being anti-Black is not rare. Most Black people want you to shut the fuck up and go to work harder, and stop complaining about the white man and what is him and his mama doing. Don't say nothing about them. Don't mention them. Strive to be like them, because all they did was come over here and work hard. That's how they got to where they are. So that's all y'all niggas need to do too. That's what everybody else did. That lie. Because that's a lie. It's not a matter of opinion that we know that based on the history that the cave, both foreign and domestic, were giving handouts, giving land. They decided to stop locking them up. Some of you may have seen the movie Gangs of New York before. That's based on history. Impoverished caves, guess what? They involved themselves in criminality. When a caveman looked around and he realized that he didn't lock a lot of his people up, what he said was, we'll come out and create job programs for these motherfucking criminals. Poverty must be an issue. So when they were in gangs, engaged in criminal activity, like any impoverished people do, instead the government said, you know what? No, we don't keep locking ourselves up. Let's get these guys some programs to get them some jobs, get them some training, and get them out here in the workforce. What they did for Black people is say that we are innately, pathologically, not only criminal, but also lazy. We just lazy. It's not like we built towns after they so-called freed us from the plantation. It's not like we built cities. It's not like we built Black Wall Street. No, we just lazy motherfuckers. That's all it is. It had nothing to do with us bombing these areas based on a cave bitch coming around talking about she got raped, or based on white folk just deciding, you know what? Those motherfuckers over there being mighty quiet, minding their business. Let's go burn their shit down. Had nothing to do with that. All the caves did was work hard, and all Black folk have done historically is be lazy and criminal. The fact that they were lynching business owners, as we listen to Candace Owens, just downplay lynching. She didn't talk about who they targeted the most. Didn't have anything to do with respectability politics. The suits, that didn't matter. They were lynched. And the government didn't fucking bat an eye. Everybody watched. Cave men, cave women, and cave children. They watched, smirked, smiled, and celebrated. That's not a matter of opinion. That's not an opinion I got. That's fact. Historical fact. So then when the cave comes along and says, well, that's the past, they don't even factor in how devastating that would be to have and build a town, building an economy, and you wipe that off the map. Nobody's charged for anything. That disenfranchises a people. Any people would be disenfranchised, not just black people. Because somehow, when you see some of this rhetoric now acting like, well, other people would have been able to, just rebuild those cities. And black people are so hard. And I know why we're so hard on ourselves. I understand why we're so hard on ourselves. Because we're spewing the same rhetoric that the K's been spewing about us the entire time. They told you niggas that when you smoke weed, that made you want to go rape white bitches. That was a fact to them. That was a fact. That was scientific at that point. This propaganda campaign is being waged they forced Black lives not to matter. What the fuck do you think them calling you 3/5 a motherfucking man is about? They literally had that in the fucking Constitution. You 3/5 a man. That's the definition of your life not mattering. You 3/5 a man. That's what they did to you. That's not an opinion. That's a fact. They never saw you as human. They don't now. The only way they accept you as even being a good boy is if you run around being a coon. And of course, if you're entertaining them in some way, as far as sing, dance, and athletics. But they still don't want you to open your fucking mouth and have an opinion about what's going on in the country. I think I'm quoting some cave bitch that told, I think it was LeBron James at the time, shut up and dribble. They don't want you to have an opinion about anything. That's not an opinion that I have about them. That's who they've shown you that they are. You're not thinking outside of the box to ignore this. You're expected to ignore, forgive, and move on. Fuck reparations. Fuck any of that. Any of the other things, any of these ways that they've made other communities whole, the so-called cave Jews, the Japanese, you don't worry about it. You just move on. Y'all doing all right. You got millionaires. Y'all fine. If they gave land to people. Those are facts. It's not an excuse. That's not me saying that we can't come together as a people because of these things that have taken place and things that still take place now. It's none of that. That's how people try to spin it when you start talking about history. Oh, you just making an excuse. These are just historical facts. That's all. If you can go back and find a man that died for you on a cross 2,000 years ago, surely I can talk about what happened 60 years ago, 40 years ago, 20 years ago, yesterday that actually happened. You talking about an imaginary event from over 2,000 years ago, and that's supposed to mean something to me. He died for your sins, didn't he? You can still talk about that. And that ain't even happened. But forgive and forget. That's not free thought. And I'm tired of this being used as an excuse for these coons that act like they thinking outside of a box. They need to be humbled. Because that's how most black people think. The idea that black people are out here just every day, all day, crying about racism, what 60 million black people here, all of us, most of us are sitting around crying about racism. Most niggas will tell you they don't want to hear shit about racism. Can I get a witness? Can I get a witness? Most niggas will tell you to shut the fuck up. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear anything about it. Until February, of course. They'll tolerate you a little bit more then, but most black people don't want to hear anything about racism in the past, in the present. They don't want to hear nothing about none of that. That kills their vibe. Is that not true? Am I lying? Black folk don't want to hear about that. We're acting like the pro-black movement makes up millions and millions and millions of black folk. It does not. I think it should. I think it should always have, but it does not. So why then do we allow people to act like black folk out here pro-black as fuck at all times, and stepping outside of the box is cooning for the caves? When that actually in itself is the box. They want you to come, go to work, shut your fucking mouth, and deal with what you get. And pray and forgive whoever fucking does anything to you. Don't mention it. You're just making an excuse. You need to pull yourself up by your fucking bootstraps. You niggas don't work hard enough. Chase the bag, secure the bag, get the bag. Bag by any means necessary. That's what you're being told. Keep the caves on a pedestal. It's fine. It ain't hurting nothing. You didn't go through slavery. How many times y'all done heard black folks say this? This ain't new. It's good white folk out here. You just don't work hard enough. That's not different. And the reason I wanted to bring attention to this is because I'm seeing this rhetoric being passed around more and more now. This free thinker or outside the box, or I'm different. I'm seeing this being tossed around more to justify cooning. And it's a fallacy. Thinking outside the box is being B123. It's being pro-black, if you will, if you want to use that terminology. Conscious. That's outside the box. That is not most people. That is not what they want for most people. They want you niggas doing exactly what you're doing now. Talking about how you gonna run to the caves and that is your salvation. Divestors. That's exactly what they want. That's what they want you to believe. They're better. They've always been better. They do everything right. They are the moral authority. We are savages that need to be civilized. Forget the history. Tell your niggas to work harder. Because that's what's wrong with black folk. They've been getting handouts. They don't want to go to school. They don't want to get higher education. That's what's wrong with you niggas. Mm. Man, let me tell you something. Let me tell y'all something. The idea that putting the caves on a pedestal, supporting the government, fighting for the government in wars and things like that, that's not new, y'all. We cannot allow these people to come out here and say this is what the free thought is. To align yourself with the caves, secure all these bags, and then come out here and be black sometimes whenever you get ready, whenever you have a point to prove, when the caves are being your opposition. Kanye's opposition literally is the caves at every turn. Whether it's Gap, Adidas, the Kardashians, it's the caves. He don't want to come out and deal with them like that, though. Ain't that, I mean, if that don't look at least a little bit odd to somebody, how is that possible that all your ops is the caves and you run around disrespecting black folk? Like, that's crazy to me. That's crazy to me. Mm. Listen, if you understanding what I'm saying and have understood what I'm saying thus far, put a B123 in the chat. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. I'll take comments now. Anybody who wants to debate this or argue this or have any disagreement, I'm paying attention to the chat now, and I'll hear you out. Keep it respectful. Keep it cool. I want us to understand, like, it's just mind-blowing to me what I witness black people doing publicly, the things that that are being said. It's just like, how are we still saying this stuff? You know what I'm saying? How are we still in this mindset? You gonna call yourself a free thinker, but you a Christian? How? Based on the definition of free thinker, you can't be, or you'd be against that Bible. You don't want to deal with the fact that you're socially engineered. That's the reason you got the cave on the pedestal. That's the reason that you're afraid every day. That's the reason that you are hoping that the caves come in and grant some mercy and grace upon you to free you from what they're actually doing to you. They're going to free you from it. At some point, they're going to have a change of heart. Mad love to y'all. Mad love to everybody that's here. I mean, I'm just giving people a chance. I'm giving people a chance to hash out their differences. If they have something to disagree with, if they think I'm on some bullshit, because, you know, I'm just what they call hotepping. What do I know? Right? What the fuck do I know? I just wanted to pull out that free thinker bit because I'm seeing that being thrown around now. Like, you don't get to be a free thinker and you got the Holy Bible in your hand. There's no way. Vibranium, I remember you. You the Kanye stan. Vibranium says, I feel like the black community does need to work on accepting our brothers and sisters who don't fit into the typical box, but Kanye isn't doing anything new, to be honest. Look at you being honest tonight. Look at you being honest tonight. And to me, I'll accept anybody that's not a coon. I don't know what the typical box for black people is. What you'll find is, when we talk about this so-called typical box, we're typically dealing with people who grew up in different areas, may speak a little bit more proper, may have different type voices, may listen to different type of music. What you'll find when you talk to those people, though, is a lot of them be coons. Brothers and sisters that are coons, I don't give a damn where you from. I don't care where you came from, the hood, the suburbs, rich. I don't need to work on accepting a coon unless that coon wants to change. Unless that coon is decided, you know what? This shit looking real motherfucking fishy out here. It's looking real crazy to me out here. The ideas that I have are anti-black. Where did I get that from? I gotta work harder than everybody else. Just work through it. Tough through it. That's what we being told to do. All the obstacles put in our way, work through it. And I get it to a certain degree. All of us have to work through obstacles and things like that in our lives. But black people specifically are told, man, fuck racism. Fuck any obstacles in your way. Fuck you being marginalized, judged, prejudged, full-blown racist against you. Fuck all of that. Work through it. And it's motherfuckers that didn't work through shit telling you this. Like, nah. No. But we all understand that Kanye is doing nothing new. Nothing. That makes sense. That makes sense. It actually gives more framing to some of the things I've seen you say. That makes sense, Vibranium. So I grew up making friends outside of the black community because I was not fully accepted for liking different things. We just talked about that. Some people who use that to justify being anti-black and uplifting other races over black people will come out and criticize very harshly black people who may have made fun of them, didn't accept them. I got made fun of for being poor. I'm not sitting up here cooning, though. And it was black folk. Black folk did that. Roasted the shit out of me for being poor. That didn't turn around and make me be a coon at all. That didn't turn around and make me, well, I'm going to go ham on black people, but all these other friends, and I put friends in quotes, very, very, you don't see the air quotes, but I'm putting friends in quotes. All my other friends, I'm going to uplift them and exonerate them, and they're so great because they accepted me, but I'm going to say fuck niggas. Fuck the plight of the niggas. Fuck the plight of black people because they laughed at me. They didn't accept me. A lot of people do that. And I ain't going. I'm not going. Base proletariat. Okay, we'll do a proletariat. Says Bob Marley would be rolling over in his grave. Boy, I'm sure he would. If he could see, his good and got hope to his grandbaby. They got their hooks in her. She thinking outside the box. Being a coon. Got her believing that's some that's some different shit. It's like, yo. Thinking that's some different shit that black people do. Like, that's what you've been doing. That's why we here. That's the very reason we are still in this position. The very reason that black men and women too scared to deal with the case, too scared to deal with what the fuck is actually going on out here, they'll just argue with each other. That's the very reason we're here. Because black folk are in a box. They are in a box. Get out. Shout out to Lauryn Hill. And then shout out to Jordan Peele. Get out. Take the cave off the pedestal. I told you I was going to bring that. That's going to be damn near every time I get on here. Take that cave off that pedestal. Get out. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. I don't even know where Lauryn Hill's mind is. I don't know. I know Miseducation Lauryn. I know, Unplugged Lauryn, but I don't know what Lauryn Hill is on right now. I don't know anything. She could have gave up. It could have beat her down. And this could be what she's passing on to her children. Because black folk could get to that point too. I don't got time for that shit. It's too heavy. Nicole Smith says Bob was half cave, but he wasn't anti-black though. So, to be fair, he wasn't anti-black. I don't give a damn whether somebody's half cave. You can't control how you got here. I didn't choose to have a black mom and black dad. That ain't something I can control. What I can control is being anti-black once I arrive. I can make a decision not to be, regardless of what situation I'm born into. I don't give a damn. But Bob Marley decided not to be anti-black. And that's really, to me, that's what's important. Because that's my issue. Not to say that, sometimes a half cave will exude a coon's behavior, will be on the path of the coon, have the passion of a coon. So I know what be in them, and then I'll judge him for being a half cave when I see that passion seeping out of him, that coon shit seeping out of him. That cave and coon combo is a fool. Some people call it tragic mulatto. That's that combo sometimes to be fucking them up. But it's the one people who decide to be anti-black, because what I've noticed is take somebody like a Kanye West. Both his parents black. Somebody like Candace Owens. Both her parents black. Selah, parents black. So what I learned in my observation is that don't matter. It really doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter. You can be full black. You can be whatever percentage of black you want to be. That does not matter at all. Because you can still be a full-blown coon. We see it every day. Doesn't matter. Somebody said Malcolm X was 25% cave. I know this. I've heard this. I understand this. And he wasn't anti-black. I don't know what to say when people bring up, they're not anti-black. They're just not. He spoke truth to power. I'm not going, I'll take that. Give me a quarter cave that ain't an anti, or that isn't anti-black. I don't mind that. Don't mind it at all. I don't mind it. It just depends on where their mindset is, for me. These are facts. These are facts. Common Sense 804 says, Rob, all of our ancestors were raped. These are facts. Either full-blown raped or bred. Hold on. Let me go back up. JC, Setting the Record Straight podcast, says the Illuminati sent the IRS after Lauryn Hill for tax evasion. Lauryn spoke about it and said that her life was in danger. Judge ordered her to receive counseling. That tax evasion be fucking some of these niggas up. Not gonna lie. I remember I watched a documentary on Lauryn Hill before where, she had her people that was in her band, people that made music with her, that were suing her because she believed that people were supposed to be making music or giving their talent to her just off the love of the music. Fuck your light bill, gas bill, expense for your intellectual property. Lauryn wasn't paying people. She said it herself. I mean, she said this herself. She wasn't paying people. And I guess the IRS is one of the motherfuckers she didn't feel like she needed to pay. It happens. It most definitely happens. But she didn't feel like she needed to pay no goddamn body. I don't get it. I don't get it. She thought it was for the love of the music and all this shit. Like, ma'am, no, I got kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not for the love playing no damn drums for you. Ain't no for no love. You win 1,000 Grammys and 10-time platinum or whatever the fuck that first album did. The Miseducation, crazy album. Beautiful album. Deserved every award it got. I do disagree with it being called hip hop, though. Some people will deem that album a hip hop album, and I can't do that with it. I can't call it a hip hop album, but nonetheless, she wasn't paying people, and you can't do that. You can't do that. You cannot do that. So that was one thing. As much as I respected Lauryn Hill, and I still, I don't have a large level of disrespect for her or malice towards her or anything like that. But come the fuck on, yo. You talking all this, knowledge, and you very connected, conscious in your music, and you don't know that you got to pay people. You don't know that you got to pay taxes. Like I just, it's tough. It's tough for me. It's tough for me to let her slide with that. Now, I don't know whether there was some, mental things going on with her or what could have been going on with that. But a person that's that intelligent, I have, and this could be wrong on me. I have different expectations of them. Like, you intelligent, like you don't fall into that. Like, you're supposed to pay people, you're supposed to pay the goddamn IRS. Like, come on. I'm not going to jump on no, she was targeted because she pay your damn taxes. You making all that bread. Just pay your taxes. Pay them people. Pay your people and pay your taxes. That's something you're supposed to have in the bag. Smart as she is. As smart as she is, I don't know. I don't know how that happened. Or even as enlightened as her children's father. A Marley. Like, bro, like, the deal. Tell your woman to pay her fucking taxes. And you find you want to be in that pussy. I get it, cool. But after that, you might want to, let's deal with this IRS shit. Like, let's deal with these taxes, because I've seen it take down too many black artists in the past. Pay your fucking musicians. Like, listen, to me, you're supposed to be saying that to your woman. It's just, you're supposed to be saying, even to your man. If you're a woman, you're supposed to be saying to your man if you're in a situation like, go, let's go handle this business though. And Lauryn Hill did not like the pressure that being famous put on her. She didn't like that pressure, that fame that came with it. A lot of people buckle under that pressure. Cameras all in their face. Can't go, out to a restaurant like they used to be able to. Can't go down to a grocery store. Just got motherfuckers screaming and wanting to get a statement at all times. Like, she didn't like all of that. She didn't like the fame. Everybody don't like that. And some people fade, they'll fade to the back, like, based on that. That's why when she did the Unplugged and she sung the song Get Out, that's what she was referring. She didn't want to deal with nobody else's rules. And she still don't. Hell, so she'll show up 3 hours late to a concert right now to this very day. This was what Miseducation was, god damn, over 20 years ago. Lauren will still show up to a concert late right now. Don't give a damn. I remember on Nas's album, I think it was King's Disease, that him and Lauryn Hill had a song, beautiful song, great production. I think Hit Boy did it, great production. But even in the bars that she spit on that song, she said something along the lines. I'm not quoting directly, but y'all sitting out here complaining about my lateness, or basically she said something about she's saving lives and y'all complaining about my lateness. Like, I told y'all I get out. Like, y'all thought it was a game. Like, I get out. And to me, it's kind of like, okay, I get all of that, but you agreed to be there at 7. Like, you don't sign you don't have people who supporting you 20 years after the fact. And they putting their money down to come see you at 7. And either you come at 10 or you don't come at all. I don't respect that. Woke, conscious, pro-black or not, I don't respect that at all. I think it was called Nobody. I think the song was called Nobody. Hold on, Jay Barrett. Hold on, because we're gonna figure this thing out. Because I got the song. That's not an issue. Off King's Disease. That's the album it came out of. I'm gonna tell you the name of the song right now. It's called Nobody. It's called Nobody.
One city, one country, one state. Some place to be nobody.
And see, what you will hear sometimes, once I hit on accident, once I heard that beat, I had to rock to it for a second. There's some of these stuff you can't help yourself. I can't help myself. I guess I put it on me. But you'll hear artists that, like the song is saying, I want to go somewhere where I can be nobody. I don't want nobody to recognize me. I want to be a normal motherfucker. You'll hear that coming from the testimonies of some of these people that are rich and famous. They yearn to be nobody. They want to go back, like before all this fame shit, like before everybody clocking everything I do and being on my dick. Like, I want to go back to being nobody. You see? JC says, come on, they force these celebrities to participate in orgies, have sex with animals, and sacrifice members of their own family. That's why Lauryn Hill got out. Okay. All right. I'm not going to argue with you, bro. I don't know what they got to do with her being late to concerts. I don't know how those two things correlate, but okay. All right. I'm with the shits. Like, I'm not one of them type people that's going to argue with you about that. I'm not going to argue with you, bro. That has nothing to do with not paying your taxes, not paying your band members, and showing up late to concerts. But okay, all right, no issue, no problem. Like I promise you're not gonna get no problem from me on that. No problem. Y'all don't be laughing. I wasn't even trying to be. I wasn't even trying to be funny, yo. I'm because y'all know I'm with that Illuminati shit. Like I'm not gonna sit here and say the Illuminati ain't real and these motherfuckers aren't Illuminati puppets and they be doing all types of wild shit, sacrifices and having these weirdo ass parties. I'm not gonna tell you no. Eyes wide shut. Tom Cruise. I'm not gonna. I ain't. I'm not like that. I'm with the shits. I'm with the shits. She did think that. Leticia said she thought if she moved away, she could avoid the IRS. Nope. Okay. Can't do it. Yeah, she really said that. Yeah. Yeah. She didn't want to pay the people that's in there playing all the instruments. It's like, yeah, she really said that. Like, yeah. That's you believe, okay. If that's what you believe, okay. But it's not like that. And somebody said something about Kanye dating her daughter. I mean, if he is, I mean, I shrug. Not my business. I'm not into dick watching. Like, I don't care who he fucking with. That ain't none of my business right there. Unless she's underage, which still it wouldn't be my business, but then it'd be like, okay, bro, like what the fuck? Which I don't know that he doing that. So that's speculation at best. I ain't really much into dick watching like that. That is not my thing. That's true. I'm not. Common Sense 804 says maybe Rob, by her going through all of that, she was traumatized. Maybe she was. That don't have nothing to do with show. That has nothing to do with not paying people for their intellectual property and showing up late to concerts. I don't even know how y'all correlating this. You can be traumatized. Don't tell people you coming. I mean, like, if you gonna tell people you coming, I'm talking about I'm talking about in recent years. I'm not talking about 20 years ago. I'm talking about in recent years, Lauryn Hill will say that she gonna be at a concert and don't come or come mad late. That I don't know what trauma got to do with that. I don't know that trauma has anything to do with that at all. I just don't. I disagree. I disagree with that. I disagree with the assertion that it was her trauma that's making her show up late for concerts these days. I mean, I just disagree with that. That's all. Now, I ain't gonna argue with you. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't feel passionately enough about it to, flesh it out with you and shit like that. But I don't know. That ain't no excuse to me. That ain't no excuse. You know them people coming to see you. And I would agree. I would say that if you're that traumatized, you wouldn't even be saying you're gonna come do a concert. You know motherfuckers want to hear killing me softly. You know what I'm saying? You know motherfuckers want to hear nothing even matters. You know that. You know they want to hear you come out there and sing. Why you tell them you gonna come sing then? If you truly that traumatized from the industry, you don't participate no more ever. You don't even say you gonna come ever. You fade to black. Period. You don't show up no more. You're not telling nobody you agree to do it. You're not agreeing to do concerts. You just don't agree to do that. I mean, in my opinion, if I'm getting out, then I'm getting the fuck up out of here. I think she did a year. Did she do a year? And I think she did a year. Just me. Says she's been in jail. Wow. Yeah. I think she might have did a year. I think she might have did a year for tax evasion. Maybe. Actually, if you talk to the Marley son, Mucho Cafe says she used to be with one of Bob Marley's sons. Maybe that helped her trauma. Actually, from uh, what I guess from my understanding and based on watching documentaries about her and things like that, they were saying that she stopped fucking with him based on the fact that he was a married man at the time, that she was having all those kids for him. He was a married man at the time. I don't know whether he didn't want to leave his wife, but they say she lost it. She went crazy or something like that. Started fucking with some rando ass spiritual advisor, and they say that's what fucked her up in the game. But again, that's all speculation. That's pussy watching at best. Now, but I do know that the man that she had these kids with, he was a married man. Some people call that home wrecking, or whatever. They was on her head about that, but I think she shrugged. I don't think she really gave a fuck about none of that. Dick must have been heavy. It was what it was to her. But they dissolved their relationship, and they say even him and Wyclef, she started fucking with some. They called him the guy like a weirdo spiritual advisor, and they thinking that's what led to her doing her MTV Unplugged and her being what they would call emotionally unstable. Now, at the time when she did MTV Unplugged, I came out here and went ham for her because I got tired of people saying that she must be crazy when I'm listening to these fucking songs that she's singing, and they're beautiful songs. They're beautiful songs. They're thoughtful songs. And even spitting bars. The Mystery of Iniquity, I'll bang right now. And she playing a fucking guitar. I'm talking about banging that bitch. Freedom Time. I mean, people looked and they were saying, she crazy. How you don't get up there and rap. One, you doing a set of all new music with just a guitar, just sitting there, all new songs. You don't spit Mystery of Iniquity and you crazy. You don't spit Freedom Time and you crazy. I was not going to let people do that. She may be, may have been going through some shit or whatever like that because people trying to haze her for, she broke out into tears a couple times and was giving these long, little monologues in between some of the songs. But you can go listen to the Mystery of Iniquity right now. You can go, I don't know exactly what year Unplugged came out in. Her MTV Unplugged thing. You can go listen to Mystery of Iniquity and Freedom Time right now. I wasn't going to let people call her crazy. So I came out on my old channel and I had to defend. I think, what was one of these? It was some black woman that really made me mad. Either it was Sherry Shepherd or Lonnie Love. It was one of them, just talking about how crazy she looked and all. I'm like, what? Are you listening to the words that are coming out of her fucking mouth, though? That's powerful, what she's talking about. Get out. Like, she was very much so leaning towards a religious, dogma and a lot of that stuff. But I'm able to look through some of that at times, depending on who the person is or whatever like that. I can look through it if I'm understanding the message. When she did a song Just Like Water, like it sounded like she was finding peace. Like, how the fuck can y'all call this woman crazy? I wasn't gonna let it happen. I just wasn't gonna let it happen. I wasn't gonna let it happen. Here's another theory. Shivian says she was blacklisted after she went after the Vatican. It's fair. Okay. I mean, I didn't say she was. I mean, I'm not saying, of course. I wasn't. I mean, you got to understand, this is the era of social media. So whether I wanted to hear her or not, I wasn't listening to her. I wasn't going to let her do her like that because she wasn't the only. When there whole articles written about how crazy Lauryn Hill was at her Unplugged, it wasn't just the bitch I'm talking about. It was whole articles being written about her. everybody was, well, I guess everybody, a lot of people were saying she was crazy. A lot of people were saying that. A lot of people were saying that, not just this one person. And I decided to come in and defend Lauren based on one person. No, that makes me silly. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody else showing Lauren love, and it was just one bitch, and I decided, like, no, that makes me silly in the story, and I don't want to be that person. I want you writing me into the story as that person. No, they was trying to go ham on her. Okay, Gina. Okay, thank you, Gina. Gina said it was 2001. But man, go listen to Mystery of Iniquity right now and see what they do. I might fuck around and play that shit the next time I come on here and do a live. And Freedom Time. Like, them shits was powerful. Them shits was powerful. Her daughter did say that. I think they've made peace with that at this point. JC says her daughter said she was abusive. Yeah, I've seen clips of her daughter coming out and speaking to the abuse that she went through at the hands of Lauryn Hill. I have seen that. I have seen that. And I don't know whether they may have made amends, but I have seen that. I have seen that. Yes. Somebody, do I still fuck with the mouths? Hell yeah. Yeah, I still fuck with the mouths. The Mystery of Iniquity, just me says you can rap about murder and mayhem, but freedom and God. No, the Mystery of Iniquity completely spits in the face of White Lives Matter. I'm talking about, she's talking about the justice system, the mystery of iniquity. And if you don't know what the word iniquity means wickedness. Well, she breaks down the entire justice system, destroys it. Jay Barrett says, I didn't see that. I saw a black woman having a breakdown before our eyes, but she's still trash for not paying them people, though. Yeah, you got to pay them people. I'm not gonna carry her through that. I wouldn't come out and be like, well, you know, I'm not going to defend that. I defend, there are certain things that I can defend and certain things I'm not going to do that. There's no excuse for not paying them people. And I don't even know that she was necessarily having a breakdown because I didn't see her tears as sad tears. I saw her tears as breakthrough tears. You know, I didn't see them as sad because she said it's just like water. I ain't felt this way in years. Like she had reached a point in her journey where she was feeling light, she was feeling happy. And I looked at those tears as tears of joy from where she came from. So I didn't even look at the tears as her breaking down. Like these are some people that emotion be so heavy on them. And I can imagine her just playing the guitar, singing these lyrics. I looked at those things as breakthrough tears. Like I didn't even look at them as breakdown tears. I looked at them as breakthrough tears. That's how I looked at them. Like she was breaking through. If you really go back and look at it in your mind, she wasn't sad. Listen to the lyrics of those songs. You don't. It's just like water. I ain't felt this way in years. You're not crying sad tears, speaking on how you breaking through and you coming into the light and coming into your truth. You're not crying tears of sadness at that moment. You're just not. The Conquering Lion. Man, listen, boy, y'all don't get me started on music. Y'all know how I fuck around, boy. Don't get me started on music. But the Conquering Lion will break every one of your chains. That's what she said. You're not sad crying and singing something like that. Grace takes it. I just started playing Mystery of Iniquity and she going in. She goes in for the whole song. Bro, I'm telling you, she goes in about the justice system for the whole song. The whole song. Like, People sleep. They slept. They slept on that song. Everybody did. I ain't gonna say everybody did. That's a little, I'm being hyperbolic, but people don't even understand the mystery of iniquity, yo. They don't even know the mystery of wickedness, and you rap a whole song about the justice system? Huh? And then your daughter, flash forward 20 years, White Lives Matter on your daughter. Like, I wonder what Lauryn Hill has to say about that. I wonder. Does she have anything to say about it? I wonder if that made her go back to beating the shit out of her daughter. I don't know if she put a two-piece on her or what. I don't even know. I don't know. I don't know whether she angry. I don't know. I mean, I don't follow Lauren on those socials. I don't know if she, done posted something or nothing. I know what her daughter's saying, though. She outside the box. She outside the box. And what she did was, a lot of these black folk, you think you're getting outside of a box, all you do is open the door and walk into a new box, at best. And both of them, you pedestalizing the caves. That's really all it is to it. Yo, Roxanne, let me tell you something. Give it a listen. Because Roxanne said, I've never heard it since they put all that rhetoric on her. The rhetoric is one thing. Give that album a listen. And then, look, come back and talk to me about it. Give that album a listen. Listen to what she's saying. I'm not going to say you're going to agree, because, again, the religious stuff, the religious connotation of some of the songs, I wouldn't fuck with no religious shit, but listen to this lady on them songs. Listen to the concepts that she's tackling. It's hard to call somebody like that crazy, for me. Black Page said I'm late. Shit. Don't worry, I didn't announce it. I didn't announce it. So don't you worry. You're not doing bad. You're not doing bad. I'm about to get the fuck off here anyway. Now let me say this, because I'm not going. Let me say this first. One, I want y'all to see. Again, I want y'all to see the fact that I've been going in like every day. I want y'all to recognize that. I should get a like for that alone. I could literally do this shit every day, but I work and shit like that. I've been going in every day. Tomorrow, I'm going in. Patreon getting some work. YouTube gonna get some work. I got a video I need to do. I'm putting work out in the streets tomorrow. I worked late as fuck today to make sure my tomorrow should be earlier, barring somebody decides they want to play bumper cars with me tomorrow, or some crazy shit happen that I can't control. Per my control, we getting it in tomorrow. Per my control, we getting it in. We getting it all the way in. I want to do an open panel discussion here. The open panel discussion is going to be about who's actually winning the gender war, and who and what is success to black people. Because I had a black woman hit me up and she said some shit, and we'll talk about it. I ain't want to talk about it now, but she said some shit. So I want to do an open panel discussion where I let people come up and we have a discussion about what is winning the gender war, as we talk about the black gender war, and what is success. What does success look like to black people in this day and age? These are two things that I've been pondering on, and I wanted to have a discussion about. We're doing that here. Patreon, I think I want to go ahead and get a documentary going for us. Go ahead and get into one of these documentaries. And I think the way I want to structure it is maybe watch the documentary all the way through. And as you watch it, jot down some things that you didn't know, or just if you got a great mind, you can remember the things that you didn't know. And then we'll discuss the documentary after the documentary goes off. We'll watch it together and discuss it after. I think that'll be a great interactive thing that we can do together. I don't know where. I think I want to start with divorce court, since we was talking about marriage the other day. I think I want to start with divorce court. I think I want to start with divorce court. I do. I'm gonna work my ass off to find divorce court by tomorrow. I'm gonna whatever I can find that quick. That's what we're gonna do. No matter what it is, I want that to be the structure though, where we watch it together, and then take some notes of things that you may have learned that you didn't know, and then we discuss. I think that'll be. I think that'll be great. That'll be great for interaction. I'm letting people come up on a panel. I don't know a panel discussion. If that's what you're talking about. Well, or Gina, when you say call in, what are you talking about? Calling into the panel discussion that we're gonna have? Because I'm gonna just let people come up on the panel. I'm gonna put the link out and have people come up if they want to engage in a conversation with me, which I hope people do. Because I want to know what black men and women look at as success and who the fuck is winning the gender war. Who's winning it? I want to know. I want to know. And we can even do a panel on Patreon as well. That's not an issue. If that's what people want to do. We can talk about, things that we learn and we see, and okay, you didn't know this and now you do. And I want it to be an interactive thing that we have going over there on Patreon. So yeah, I got a lot of work I'm putting out here in the streets tomorrow, unless something crazy happened. Something crazy. But y'all I've been on here every day. And I'm even about to go live now on Twitch. So, it is what it is. I'm gonna play the game for a few hours. Like I said, I worked late as fuck today, so I don't have to start as early tomorrow. But I'm about to go live on Twitch here in a second, and we're gonna do that. If you're not following me on Twitch links, if you're interested in gaming, if you don't fuck with gaming, and it is what it is. But I'm about to go live on Twitch now. So links in the D box. Don't cost you nothing. Come over there, vibe with me, or whatever. But we in. We in. Yeah, we getting that. The 28th, we in there. The 28th, we in there. NW2, we in there. We already on that. Don't you worry about that. Don't you worry about it. But I am about to get off here again. I'm about to go live on Twitch. And that's what I'm about to do now. Mad love to y'all. I appreciate y'all for hearing me out. I know y'all don't have to. No one has to. I appreciate y'all for hearing me out. Links to follow me everywhere in the description box. Hopefully that I'm able to put enough energy out here to at least have black people thinking a little bit differently about how we view where we are, and allowing other black people to misrepresent us and call them cooning being some new free thought that just fell out the fucking sky and it came to them in a fucking vision. It's not new. It's basic, regular, ordinary coon shit. Anti-blackness is basic. That's basic. Even amongst black people, sadly enough. Okay? But y'all come on over if you want to fuck with me on Twitch. But follow my or link to my Patreon and all that if you want to be a part of what we got going on over there. All of that. All right? Matt, love to y'all. Shout out to Team Rob. Y'all already know what the fuck it is. Black first, second, and third. I'm out.